a subject that comes to mind, and that is Power Book 5 Influence. This is a show a lot of people, speak to me about, ask me about. It does pops up every once in a while. Now, originally, when Power ended, 4 spinoffs were announced, and that was Book 2 Ghosts, Book 3 Raising Kanan, Book 4 Influence, and Book 5 Force. So basically, when it comes down to it, this was supposed to be all the spinoffs. Now, we did get Book 2 Ghosts. It has started and it has ended. We did get Book 3 Raising Kanan. It has started and it is still going. Force, which was originally Book 5, ended up being Book 4, and we got that, and it's currently preparing to end, but we never got Influence, which was originally Book 4 and became Book 5. Now, from what I remember, a lot of us asked about Book 5 with Courtney Kemp, because she used to host lives on IG, like after every episode of Power Book 2 Ghosts ended, especially during season 2. And I think what she said was that they were hoping for Tate to spin off of Book 2 Ghosts, because it was like Power Book 5 Influence was at first a Book 1 in spinoff, but when Tate went to Book 2 Ghosts, they were hoping he would spin off from Book 2 Ghosts and get Influence, but somehow it did not work out. What Influence was going to be about was Tate and him being in the political world and how things is and how politics really do things and how politicians do things. Now, Power has always shown how politicians do things, and they've always shown it through Tate. They've always shown it through different political people, especially people that Ghost encountered himself. They showed you the game of politics, but they were going to make a show that was about that. Now, why this show didn't came or why it didn't happen, I have no idea. All I know is when it comes down to it, Tate's character had a big presence in Book 2 Ghosts, a way bigger presence than we thought he would have, because he showed up in the season 2 as a professor at first, trying to get himself back into the political world. By the time that season ended, he was back being Councilman Tate. By the time we got into season 3, he was there again, going for re-election again, and Tariq and everybody helped him got in office. And then by the time we got to season 4, he was just really a background character that really made a cameo appearance. And even though his brother played a big part in season 4, Tate never really found out who was really behind his brother's death, which is Carter. And this leaves an opening for Tate's storyline, because I felt like he was a character that should have been more used in the season, when really he just made an appearance and was mentioned here and there in the final season of Book 2 Ghosts. But it's crazy because this was a character that was supposed to have his own spinoff. He was supposed to have his own show. And from what I heard, some of his story that was going to be in his show shows up in Book 2 Ghosts. And being that his show was so connected to Book 2 Ghosts, because they're in the same city, they're in New York, and pretty much Tate would have been around the same people Tariq was around, because they literally were in the same circles while Tate was being a professor. But even when he went on to be a politician, he was still around some of the same people. So this was a spinoff that would have happened at the same time as Book 2 Ghosts, in the same timeline. Tariq would have definitely have shown up in Book 5 Influence a lot, being that he is in New York. And not only is he in New York, he does work for Tate. Tate asked him for, requests, and likewise Tariq does the same thing. And so when it comes down to it, this would have been a direct connected show to Book 2 Ghosts, whereas Force is in Chicago, entirely different city. Tommy shows up in Book 2 Ghosts every once in a while. When it was around, he showed up every once in a while, but it never really encountered Force. Like, it was not like a whole Force thing. And so when it comes down to it, Tate not getting his spinoff, I mean, to me, that's just bullshit. When it comes down to it, I would have loved to have seen a show with Power that was about politics. It would have been a lot like House of Cards. It would have been a lot like Succession, in my opinion. It would have been a lot like Boss, which is a show made by Kelsey Grammer back in the day, a show that I think that was ahead of its time. But at the end of the day, they took away Book 5 Influence, a show that I really was looking forward to and wanted to see. It would have been cool to see a Power with Tate as the lead and see how he maneuvers through the political world, the people he would have encountered, the things he would have done, instead of getting a little bit of that story in Book 2 Ghosts in seasons 2 and 3, which is dominantly the seasons that Tate is around in, and some of his story is there as well. But we'll see how it happens, because Tate didn't have an ending, and even though the way things were playing out with him in Book 2 Ghosts, it seems as though they would have tried to have got some revenge on him, but it didn't really happen, because he really is directly responsible for the fall of the Weston family. And in their influence. And where they fell, he rose up. And so there's still a story there between Tate and Braden, and potentially Braden's family, that is not yet finished, and probably will pick up in whatever spinoff will come on down the line. But that's pretty much all I got to say in regards to that. I just want to say to all you, the it's your boy Bobby Beast here. I want to talk about a subject. Wrong phrase, man. I just want to say it's your boy Bobby Beast here. I just want to say much love, much respect. Hold it down, and